Hey guys, it's Antonio. I am a tutor that has been teaching for around 4.5 years for high school subjects. So you can essentially just ask any questions, for example, chemistry, physics, bio, calculus, pre-calculus. Essentially, I teach all the questions, or mostly speaking, all the subjects, except for English and the artsy side. Okay. This is my first video for my channel, the Acacia Education, and today I want to be talking about how to do well in your courses, okay? And the way I see it is a lot of students, they go to class and they read books and they try to understand concepts that most teachers would just ramble onwards, like most high school teachers do it. And the thing with that is, honestly speaking, just reading and listening to your teachers, it's not gonna help, okay? Because what you end up doing and what most students end up doing is they will just listen and kind of maybe get the concepts and then go and do questions and go through hundreds and hundreds of questions, wasting a lot of time, and then literally speaking, memorizing the questions. But in higher levels of sciences, like even grade 11, grade 12, if you call that high level, at that moment, the questions are not going to be like similar, okay? Most of it will be same or very similar to your practice problems, which you will see. And if you work really hard, then of course you can know how to do those problems. But why does most people not do well? Because the fact is they're just memorizing problems and they're not understanding the actual concept. So imagine this, you want to know about how to do a math problem or a chemistry problem. And what you're doing, or what most students are doing, is they look at a problem and they say, have I seen this question before? And now, if they haven't seen the question, they go, oh shit, I haven't seen the question, and then can't do it. And that's the problem with the current high school public education, because everyone just try to memorize problems. And by going through all these practice problems, they don't care about learning the actual concept or why the problem is done in this way. Instead, they go and memorize the problems. So tip number one is when you read or when you study for your test, pay attention to key concepts. Okay, so for example, Chem 12, 3 units actually revolve only one concept, and that concept is equilibrium. So here's the thing. If you know equilibrium really well and you understand how it works, okay, the equilibrium constant and the equation, you understand how that works, then you take that same concept, apply it to solubility, which is KSP, literally your next unit. And then you take that same concept, apply it to acid and base, literally the same unit. Okay, so literally in Chem 12, there's 5 units. There's reaction kinetics, there's equilibrium, solubility, acid and base, and electrochemistry. That's 5. In these 5 units, 3 units are revolving one key idea. Okay, so why do most students pay attention to just memorizing the problems as opposed to understanding that one unit, which will help them understand the next 3 units or next 2 units with ease, therefore saving them time and effort? So have to go through and like do a shit ton of questions so they get this one unit. Do you understand the idea? You put in so much work, but you're not getting the best results. Okay? Tip number 2, stop doing problems for like doing sake. So a lot of questions, what I mean by that is a lot of people, they go through the questions and they just think, like, if I go through 100 questions, then I would say like 70% of it will hit the similar type of question on the test. Now, I don't know about you, but do you want to get 70% in your class or do you want to get 90 plus? So if you want to look for just 70%, then yeah, put in the effort, put in hours and hours of doing questions and go through the problems, and you can memorize the ways, the methods to do this one type of problem. If you go through enough, you get your 70 to 80% in class. Okay? But the thing is, I'm pretty sure most of you guys want 90s. You want 90s, right? So why do you do something that's not gonna get you a 90? Okay? The idea for that is Actually, what you want to focus on when you do problems is you want to look for problems that actually emphasizes on the concept. Okay, not so much on the questions that like get you to calculate stuff. Yes, those are important, but you don't want to go through those like a lot of it. You want to go through a couple just so you get how to do the calculation, but understand the concepts, understand how each concept work, and then apply it on your questions. How do you do that? The easiest way in any textbook, if you're taking classes in school right now, the easiest way is literally speaking, go through the practice problems and understand why that works. Okay, understand why the question is done the way it is done. Okay, don't just sit there and be like, oh yeah, first I use this concentration, I use this mole, or I use this number, put into this equation. That's not gonna help you. Understand why this equation is used. Understand why this number is used. What does this number mean? Why is it this concept? If you get that and you truly understand that one concept, if you go through like 10 questions in a similar manner, you essentially learn the entire unit. So I'm talking 10 questions that you put in your energy, focus a lot on 10 questions, spend maybe 30 minutes on each of them. Okay, 10 questions that go through each different concepts in the unit, and then poof, you got your answer. I mean, poof, and you know essentially the entire unit. So if you know how to do that, you understand it, literally speaking, you will be able to do the entire unit because you understand how things work. Okay, now if you want to do more questions to make sure you actually understand and the application of it, that is important. Practice is important. I'm not saying it's not, I'm not saying don't practice. I'm saying don't put in the effort to do 100 questions just so you can memorize 100 different methods. I'm saying go through 10 different problems and understand how they work, and then go through maybe 20 questions, 30 questions, and then you know the entire unit. You don't need to put in more practice after that because you already know how it works. So now on the test, if the teacher gives you a new question that you've never seen before, however uses the same concept, you can do it right there and then. So at that moment, you don't have to worry about forgetting something. Okay, that's the key to doing a lot of the science courses and math courses. Okay, now obviously for courses that is heavily emphasized on biology, then maybe it's not so much the calculations. It's very much how you come up with different ways and pictures and linkage to memorize different things. Okay, so that brings me to my last tip. So tip number 1 is stop reading and just doing questions for question's sake. Tip number 2, go through the solved problems, which I will post later on in this channel, and I'll give you different tips and different ideas regarding the specific subjects, and then you can watch those to get ideas for like different solved problems and all that stuff. Okay, last tip is actually how you make linkage. Okay, what I mean by linkage is human brain doesn't actually memorize bits and pieces of information just by like this small chunk. It's very hard to memorize that way. So what you want to do, especially when it comes to courses that require memory or courses that require you to remember information, facts, and to recall and to regurgitate those information out. What you want to do, and this has been working for all my students, and I taught biology like 15 times, chem like 20 times, and physics like 25 times, and calculus 20 times. I went through a lot. Okay, and I've noticed that once you're able to put a linkage between what is the new information and your old information, or put that new information and transform it, put analogies, or look at it differently, like put it into a daily material that you can remember, under that scenario, you get that concept that much faster, because then you have the image in your head. The only thing you need to remember is just names. So here's the thing, if you have the image and the names, well, essentially it's like your friend's name. Okay, you don't sit there and memorize this guy's name. You see it enough times, you know it. So same thing, once you have the image, all you have to do is just kind of like match picture and name, which makes memory a lot easier because you don't have to come up with the picture once again. So an example of that would be, say for example, in chemistry 11, there's a unit regarding quantum mechanics. Okay, and quantum mechanics, there's different energy levels, different subshells, different shells. What you can do as an analogy is, for example, put N, which is an energy level, as different levels of a shopping mall. Okay, so energy level 1 is your shopping mall level 1. In shopping mall level 1, you will have one orbital or one suborbital. That's the s orbital. Do you see what I mean? You have the s orbital, and then right there and then you know, okay, in energy level 1, there's only s orbital. Sorry. And then energy level 2, you have the s and the p orbital. Okay, that makes understanding something abstract, which is something like quantum mechanics you've never seen in your life. Literally speaking, you can't see it. Okay, this is a lot of it is just pure theory. If you can do that, put it into your daily life, I'm pretty sure you've been to a shopping mall, right? You put that into the shopping mall analogy, you understood it right away. Or for example, in physics, there's projectile motions. Okay, in projectile motions, the things fall up or fall down. They're falling down. People don't understand a lot of times acceleration is just changing speed. Okay, well, if you just say acceleration, you think of it as some kind of number that you're going to plug in. Of course you're not going to understand. But if you think about it in daily common sense, this thing drops this way. It drops down. As every single second it drops down, it gets faster and faster. That's acceleration. So in that case, there's nothing positive or negative, negative direction, something. It doesn't matter. If it's in the same direction, it's speeding up. If it's not in the same direction, it's slowing down. See, right there and then I solved the positive and the negative direction that confuses a lot of people in physics. One more thing, like in physics, there's also something like the x and y dimension, right? That's taking apart two dimensions. Oh, I dropped my pen. But the idea here is, if you have x and y dimension, then the thing is, okay, well, a lot of questions or a lot of people, they get confused. Like, this velocity is this, like what velocity? What's this, like x dimension, y dimension? What's that got to do with anything? Okay, well, put it simply. Can you interact with another dimension? Can you interact with, can you like change time? You can't change time. So time is constant. But in some cases where, like, if you're going horizontal, going horizontal is this way, right? You don't go up, you go horizontal. How does horizontal affect vertical? It doesn't, right? So just think about it. How can you can go in the slant, right? We can go in diagonal. Yeah, what is diagonal? Diagonal is you go horizontal first and then you go vertical. You just split into two dimensions. If you can put it into daily images, daily things, you'll understand the concept that much faster. And that will help you in a lot of ideas down physics 12 or physics 11, because everything in physics requires you to split things into two dimensions. Same as chemistry 11, the central concept of a mole. If you get those concepts, if you understand a mole is simply a number, it's just like a dozen. Dozen means 12. A mole is simply 6.02 times 10 to the power of 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 of anything. So a dozen of beer is 12 beers. A dozen of eggs is 12 eggs. So what's a mole of molecules? Well, 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 molecules. That's it. That's the idea. That's not too hard to understand, is it? Now, same thing. A lot of people get confused about how does mole have to do with molar mass. Well, think about it. Is 12 eggs gonna weigh the same as 12 beer? Is 12 eggs gonna weigh the same as 12 trucks? It's not. But they're all 12. So same thing. A mole of something is this number of something. Doesn't mean it's the mass. That's why molar mass is different. Okay, so basically I give you 3 tips today that you can implement right away to your regular school life, especially if you have summer school where everything is crammed, right? And give that a try. Try to seriously implement my ideas and my tips, and you will see a huge change in how you study, how effective you study, and also a huge improvement in your marks. Okay, this is it for today. Okay, I will show you other videos, and subscribe to my channel and click like, obviously, for more free content and more value regarding specific tips on specific chapters or specific units, or solve problems, or like any questions regarding high school subjects in general. Okay, I also have a Facebook page that you might be able to find on Facebook if someone shared it for you. If not, then you can always Google Acacia Education. Sorry, not Google, but Facebook search, and you'll be able to like that page. And every single day, or at least for a couple times a week, I'll upload new videos and new content, free content for you guys to look over and try to improve your study while also improving the amount of time you have to do whatever the stuff you like to do, like going out and playing games, or I don't know. Okay, so subscribe to my channel and you will get a lot of value. Once you get a lot of value, you'll know to change your marks. Okay, pretty good. Thank you. So I'll see you guys next time.